Horsing Around, written and told by Kiefer Adams. A bridge on Thomas's branch line had been closed, so Thomas had been sent to work at Edward's line instead. He didn't mind it at first, until he realised that one of Edward's jobs was collect scrap from crocks and take it to the other railway. "I can't stand it," grumbled Thomas. He didn't like the idea of shunting scrap back and forth. One day, Edward lost patience. "I know this is a job you don't usually do, Thomas," he said, "but it must be done." "Ugh," Thomas groaned. "I feel just like Smudger." Edward was surprised. "Smudger?" he asked. "Oh yes," replied Thomas. "Duke was recently rescued and now works on the narrow gauge railway. He told me all about the Mid-Sodor days and the former number 2 that used to be on it." "Well, I haven't heard any stories," said Edward. "Then you'll like this one," said Thomas. "I went to get my whistle repaired last week, and Duke was at the works having maintenance too." Thomas took a deep breath, and this was the story he told Edward. During the early days of the Mid-Sodor Railway, Duke ran the line with pride. The likes of Tim, Albert, Atlas, John, Jim, Jennings and Jerry also worked on the line with him. But one day, Duke was to discover that there was going to be another addition to their line. The manager came to see him. "Ah, Duke," he said, "we've just acquired a tank engine that was partially built in America but received a little British makeover." He chuckled with a wink. "It's your responsibility to show him around." "Yes, sir," replied Duke. "What's his name?" "Well, I was going to call him number 2, said the manager, "but he's called Smudger. Make him feel welcome and tell the others." "Of course, sir," said Duke. He went to the shed and soon informed the other engines about the newcomer. The next morning, Duke was being checked over before starting the day's work. He was just wondering how the day would be when a shrill whistle caught him by surprise. Sure enough, a little green tank engine, almost identical to Jennings', rolled in with a smug look on his face.
"What a small yard!" he exclaimed. "This certainly won't do at all. I'm much too fancy for this old—"
"Excuse me, Stanley," began Duke.
"Smudger,"
came the sharp reply. "Yes, Smudger, we do not use that sort of language in this yard, thank you very much."
"Oh, whatever, Gramps. Now, let me get settled, and maybe you can bore me to death with your dull stories later."
He scuttled away to the shed. Duke was furious. "How dare he?" growled as he went about his work. "Absolutely disgraceful. No respect."
"Quite right, Duke,"
agreed John.
"These engines don't learn."
"He'd be lucky if he took the horse and cart,"
added Jerry. "Let's hope he doesn't," said Duke indignantly. Every engine on the Mid-Sodor Railway knows how important the horse and cart is. It is quite a clever train. It mostly consisted of a horse box and a guard's van. But recently a new type of truck had been made. It was a flatbed, modified to carry horse carts on it. So when the farmers could be dropped off to where they wanted to go, the cart, with the horse in the box, could travel along the train. Duke, Jim, Albert and John, being the most experienced engines, were in charge of this train. Sometimes Albert would easily break down with it. Jim and John often took it in turns, but Duke was the proudest of all. Unfortunately, Smudger was going to have a turn with the horse and cart, and he was not best pleased about it. When the day came, Smudger was told to report to the manager at the top station. "It's your turn for the horse and cart today, Smudger," he said. "Duke will show you what needs to be done."
I'm not pulling a smelly old horse train if that's what you're thinking,
retorted Smudger crossly. Don't talk back, interrupted the manager. That will be your only warning about this matter. The train is waiting for you in the yard.
Tough, fine. I'll do it the old fuddy-duddy's way.
Smudger grumbled, and he puffed crossly away. Duke was waiting with the horse and cart, and the horse for it had only just gone in the box when Smudger banged the train angrily. Do be careful, scolded Duke.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get this over with.
Duke tried to explain how the horse and cart was dealt with, but Smudger didn't listen. He just wanted to get a new job out of the way so he could go back to the ones he was getting comfortable with, like shunting trucks and fetching coaches. When of course he wasn't derailing, Smudger took off like a green rocket and shot down the line. Duke angrily rolled his eyes. Smudger bucketed along the line. The horse and cart rattled behind him.
This is too easy,
he boasted.
What does old Dookie know about taking care?
If Smudger hadn't been so careless, he wouldn't have heard a rattling from behind. He had biffed the train so hard that the door of the horse box had opened. The horse had already jumped out and was galloping alongside Smudger. When he noticed, he had to do a double take.
Where did you come from?
He spluttered. Then everything happened at once. Smudger's cry startled the horse, and wheezing steam made things worse. The next thing Smudger knew, he bounced off the rails and landed on the road nearby. The flatbed toppled behind him, and the horse cart fell clean off. The ropes connecting it to the truck broke, and as it toppled to its side, one of its wheels broke to pieces.
Oh dear,
groaned Smudger. It took Smudger's crew, the guard and the farmer to calm the horse down. Duke, who was not surprised that such an accident had happened, went to rescue Smudger, who was then scolded severely by the manager. That was quite an interesting story, Thomas, said Edward. But some were not doing a job they like. Does that sound familiar? Thomas blushed slightly. You're right, Edward. I'm really sorry. I like working on your branch line, and I shouldn't have been cross about the scrap trains. That evening, Thomas and Edward returned to Tidmouth Sheds. Do you know why Crocs is important to me, Thomas? Asked Edward. No, why? It's where I rescued Trevor, said Edward, and since then the scrapyard has been a special place to me. I understand that now, said Thomas, and I promise, until the bridge on my branch line is open, I will never horse around there again. Or you'll be like Smudger, chuckled Edward. Thomas and Edward smiled in the setting sun. Even Thomas was secretly pleased that he certainly wouldn't be like Smudger at all.